let's go to the next slide.
Give me just one momento. Sorry, I'm letting people in as well.
Okay.
In fact, give me a second. I'm going to make you host, and you can control it. So I can let people in and such. So you should have control.
Interesting. All right, let's see if this works. Yeah, it's not letting me.
Okay.
It's not letting me do it because it's up on your screen.
Hang tight. All right, come on. Technical difficulties this morning. Here we go. So sorry.
And I can let people in too. I'll just admit all. How about that? There we go. All right. Well, we've had some more people join. So welcome everybody. Good morning.
Morning.
This day, I'm having. Deborah, are you admitting these or am I?
Yeah, I'm doing it. You go on. I got it.
Okay. Just a reminder again to please mute if you're on, so that all the background noise that you may not realize is coming, what rest everybody can hear easily that way. We are from my perspective, from the work that we do in the very front end and the visioning work, the dreaming, design principles, the layouts of the streets and the parks and trails, and a lot of that work at this point is wrapping up. Actually, we are nearing the end of all the design phases for the residential areas in Viridian. That's excluding the last kind of major visioning, which will be the southern end of the commercial area, what we call the town center area. The year we had, why don't we go to the next slide, Deborah? So just to give you just some statistics for the data hounds that love the data, we had 412 families purchase homes in Viridian last year. That's a record. Don't know that I ever thought we'd sell 400 new homes in a year. So it was quite remarkable, particularly in light of what happened in kind of March and April when the whole world shut down. And so I don't know if the COVID environment helped us, just because of the amount of open space and how much safer it is to live, I think, in Viridian, where you can get out, even though we kind of packed the houses in, nestled together so that we can have more open space and parks. But the market seemed to like it. The Elements, our new age restricted area, had 83 of those sales. So it's exciting to see the market enjoy our Elements offering as well. The average price point of a home in Viridian, we thought over the life of the development, would be $350,000, and it's significantly above that. This year the average price point was almost $460,000. So it's again, the values, because I think of our public-private partnership with the city, the county, the hospital and college district, that allows us to put in such quality infrastructure, is really doing a good job protecting our values. I would like to say just a note for those of you that are maybe new and don't understand or weren't aware of the partnership we have. A lot of the taxes that we pay in Viridian, not all of them, but a lot of the taxes you pay to the county, the hospital, the college district, um, a significant portion of those taxes come back into infrastructure directly in Veridian to help pay for our flood control and drainage, and the connectivity that we enjoy with the regional trail systems is funded by those tools. Eventually, we front all the money, and then over time, as the value is created, we get reimbursed for a portion of that infrastructure. So it's a unique partnership. It's why we have such quality park systems and trails and amenity systems, and it's why our roads are 50-year roads and not 30-year roads. And it also sets us up as a community with this public finance company corporation that sits over Veridian. It gives us more direct influence in the years ahead over our own destiny without having to always rely on the city and their bond elections to take care of things that might come up that none of us anticipated. Fortunately, we haven't had to use a tool like that. Everything's gone really according to plan. I think even better to a large extent. So we're very appreciative of the leadership in the county that allowed us to do this, and it's becoming more of a model in the state. More and more cities are coming here and touring Veridian and realizing that if they invest in the infrastructure up front, they'll have something forever in their community that's good and that will age well. Next slide, Deborah. Deborah, there's 14 people in the waiting room, just FYI. The HOA has done they had a busy year in spite of COVID, trying to figure out how to create a sense of community safely. So there've been a lot of events held, lots of food trucks coming around, fitness classes and social clubs and Facebook contests. And I just really appreciate the heart of the people. And, when some of our friends get angry, they take it out on the HOA staff. And these guys just understand that people's lives are complicated and frustrating. And sometimes people say and do things that aren't very nice. And our group has thick skin and they handle that really well. And I so appreciate Ron and the team over there. For the most part, I think they're loved and greatly appreciated. And but every now and then, some of us are having tough times, and we can take it out on them. So we get that. Listen, I'm of all people understand how dark it can get sometimes and how angry things can be. And I'm sure looking forward to springtime and everybody hopefully safer and more herd immunity, and we can get out and fellowship and do more events together. Next slide. All these are just some images from some of the creative ways we were able to get together this year. More people outside. Next slide. That's fun. We got to do some caroling at Christmas. Deborah and the team and Miguel and the group that helped get the lights on and then keep them on for our Christmas celebration. That was fun. It was different this year. So thank you, Deborah and team, for that. Next slide. Just some more images from the lights this year. Again, I think that it took a lot of work to keep those on. It's amazing how hard it is to keep the lights on. People step on them and run over them, and it rains on them. So lots of social events and food trucks, and for the elements as well, and lots of fitness classes. More to come there. They've got a really beautiful lifestyle center for that group, and it's been hard for them to really take advantage of it just yet. So we're anxious to get cooking classes and cocktail hours and, just more activity going over there as soon as we can, as soon as it's safe. Many of you joined and didn't hear, COVID hit really close to home. I'm sure everyone has their stories of their friends and family, but we lost Donnie Otwell this year, last week or week before last. And we're going to miss Donnie. Donnie was responsible for the team, our team that's on the ground out there that you see, and responsible for making sure the contractors put all the pipe in the ground and all the development activity goes smoothly. He did a great job. He was with us from the very, very beginning of Viridian. We're going to miss him. Next slide. Just some folks enjoying the activities at Elements. So we were able to do a few things. The island bridge is mostly complete and the lights are on. It's been quite a challenge. We're really proud of it. And next slide, I think we've sold 17 homes so far since we've opened up the island. I'm really pleased with the results there. The model over there that Covington is building will be complete soon. I know the model and the townhome models on the west end of the island are starting construction now. So we should see a lot of activity on the island this next year. Next slide. Storm Park, what a beautiful place. We wanted and had hoped this would be really take everything we've learned about park development in the last 10 years and apply it here. It's a very unique park. It's the first attempt at having water. Run through a park system. We still have work to do. The park's not finished. As a lot of the furniture is not yet in the park. We've created a ton of little areas where you can go as a couple or a family and have a little private spot, but still be in this big community park. I think it will be a great venue just because of the topo and the way it's designed, almost in an amphitheater setting for music events. So we'll be exploring ways to program the park. And as the grass grows in and the trees grows in, we'll evaluate if we've got shade in the right places around the sitting areas or not. If we need to add more shade trees, we'll make adjustments accordingly. Your suggestions there would be greatly appreciated as you enjoy and live in and walk around the park. But just know there's more work to be done there. It's not quite done yet, but it's shaping up nicely. I think our design team really outdid themselves here. I think it's our best work and should create a lot of energy for those of you that live back there. The Lifestyle Center at Magnolia we touched on for Elements. This is just a quick image of that. It turned out great. We'll be anxious again when we can safely turn everybody loose in there. We're being super careful, even trying to be careful. Lots of folks are struggling with the virus. So we just want to be safe. Hopefully we're nearing the end. Here's phase 3B. So there's 2 phases left in Elements. We're grading the second of what will be 3.
Would you bring let's go down and watch it on the.
Hey guys, you need to mute if you don't mind. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't control that right now, Bob.
That's okay. So you'll start, those of you that live in Elements, you'll start to see the pipe going in the ground here very soon. And then after the pipe goes in, you'll see the paving. So we're excited to bring on some more lots. And more parks and trail connectivity. Our typical design standards will continue throughout the development of elements. We have one phase left after this one in elements, and in Viridian for the main body, we're developing the last phase now. Let's go to the next slide. Just a reminder that we're continuing the design team work on the next amenity center. Donna, do you mind muting your phone?
Sorry.
No worries. Thank you. The pickleball, I get lots of questions. Oh, that's a good reminder. Most of the pickleball lobby was very successful in lobbying lots of questions. Chris, you guys did a great job if you're on here. I was kind of chuckling a little bit. I did get an opportunity to go out and kind of observe the pickleball love of the number of people that are involved. Don, you might need to mute just so we don't get a big echo.
Hey, Bob, why don't you make me presenter or host again, and let me see what I can do to control some of this.
Okay. I don't know how to do that, but I'll try.
Click on your name and make me host again. And everyone, please keep in mind too, these are just renderings, and so they are subject to change. And so we just wanted to give you guys an idea of what is in the plans right now.
Yeah, Deborah, it's not letting me.
Okay.
Clicking on me.
That's okay. We'll figure it out. Just keep going.
Okay. Okay. Our goal is to start construction at the end of Don, Don, over that, could you guys mute if you don't mind? It's just echoing really bad. So our goal would be to get this under construction in the fall. And for those pickleball folks, I think the dimensions on these courts they're 60 feet deep, which will solve, or 63 feet, a couple of them, which will solve the baseline issues. And they're 30 feet wide, probably not as wide as you'd like, but they're, from everything we can tell, they'll fit here and they'll be wide enough. So not perfect, but we get a couple more pickleball courts, and we're looking for other opportunities as that people group grows to see where we might enhance that. We're also looking at the idea of getting some of those nets on rollers that we could put at the tennis court for one of the courts, where you can roll them out of the way and roll them back in. I think that was a great suggestion somebody came up with, so we're looking into that as well. Next slide, please. These are just some renderings. Most of you guys have seen these before. Just remember, as we get into we vision it, we do this work, and then we go out and start getting bids. It's a good time. A lot of the contractors' backlogs are down because of the amount of activity that got pulled due to COVID. And so hopefully we'll get good numbers, and we can keep all the little specialty stuff that we have planned here. We've been able to do that for the most part. Sometimes we do have to value engineer when things come in over budget, but we have a great budget for this project. And as we bid it out, we'll hopefully be able to build everything just as you see it. Next slide. Again, just another image. Let's go to the next slide. I think the Unity Cafe is the beer garden. It's actually under construction. You're not going to see much until most of the work that's going to be done in the near term is underground, having to do with storm drainage and utilities to the site. A lot of us go through this area on the trail systems to get to River Legacy Park. So just be super careful going through there. It'll be muddy and messy and impossible to keep perfectly clean. And you're just going to want to be really careful traversing through here. Well, again, our team will do their best. We can't control the contractors every minute. And so they tend to be less concerned about our bicycles. So again, just be super careful. But we'll hope to have the cafe open. Next slide. We have some renderings of what it looks like. We hope to have it open late spring, early summer, depending on when the containers are completed and delivered. Delivery times on anything today are unpredictable. So we'll get our work done that we can, and we'll wait to receive those. Again, we're hearing they're saying all the right things, but we've been continually disappointed with deliveries on things that they just don't want to tell you until the last minute, afraid that you might move your order to someone else. So not everyone's not being real transparent about delivery times. This will be a great new addition. I would really like to ask everybody to use the cafe when we get it open. The restaurant people are watching. So if there's crowds here on the weekends, and again, the service has to be good, the product has to be good. But Tony Vertigliani, who's was head of the Arlington Downtown Association and owner of Urban Alchemy, and he's going to be managing it with his team. They do a great job. So just ask you to really, really take advantage of it. Tony has some great ideas. He wants to do, coffee in the morning and beer garden and grab and go food on the way home, partnering with maybe Marcona or some of the other local caterers. So if you guys are coming home and just haven't had a chance to prepare a meal, you could grab a meal on the way in and from Tony's grab and go and right here at the cafe and heat it up at home. So we're excited to hear what Tony has to do in terms of programming here. And we're also making room for food trucks to come so we can have a variety of food activities. But again, I think our waterfront restaurant opportunities are largely going to hinge on our Viridian people supporting Unity Cafe and demonstrating that there's strong demand from our community for this kind of space. And I don't have any doubt. Press Cafe over in Fort Worth, other places that have this kind of atmosphere are just packed. It's socially distanced but crowded. So it's been interesting to see how successful these venues are. Next slide. Just another close up of the place. Next slide. Another one at night. So it's well designed. It should be a lot of fun. Water's Edge. Let's have the larger. I get lots of questions about the town center, and this is, as far as commercial goes, this was the first pure retail environment, and we need Moji Haddad, who's a developer, to be successful here. And in spite of all the COVID, they're doing really well. They have 3 new leases. Deborah, do we have a slide? Next slide, please. We have 3 new restaurants coming in. Marco's Pizza. They're in the, I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Nan Glow. And then one more. Crave Hot Dogs and Barbecue. So that's a really good sign that we've got 3 restaurants going in across the street. Plus we'll have Unity Cafe. So that's 4 restaurant eating opportunities that we don't have now that we'll have this summer. So I'm grateful to Moji for taking the risk that he took and the capital he's invested in Viridian. and for working so hard with his leasing team to recruit restaurants here. That's a great sign. I continue to meet with national developers and boutique grocery operators in the hopes of recruiting a town center developer in a grocery operation into Veridian. Nothing to report yet. We've had some great conversations with different groups. The speed with which Veridian is building out and just the renaissance of North Arlington is helping. People are not saying no, they're just saying maybe not right now. So that's good. And they're trying to understand the other grocery competition. I think there's definitely room for a boutique grocer in Veridian. We don't have anything like that in North Arlington. So, stay tuned. We're working on it. Next slide. The sailing center exploded this year. If you haven't had the opportunity, you don't have to be a sailor to join the sailing center. There's kayaks and paddle boats, and I think when you get down to the center and you start meeting the people group down there, and on Tuesday nights they have racing night, and people sit on the end of the dock around the fire pit and just visit and have a beer or cocktail or rehydrate. But it's a great activity from a health perspective. Once you learn to sail and you get involved in some of the racing, it's just a really healthy way to get some exercise and have some fellowship. Our youth sailing, this year we're launching our junior sailing program. We've had a lot of kids come through our camps, and we're going to formalize the junior sailing program. They'll start traveling and racing around the state. So we're very excited to be able to offer that. You need to have gone through our summer camp to join that program. So be sure and sign up now for the camps, as they do fill up fairly quickly. And I would encourage you, if your kids are interested in that. I think you're 8 years old is where we generally start. And one of our young ladies that came through our sailing program got a full scholarship to the Naval Academy. Her work at the Sailing Center, both as a participant and as a volunteer and a coach, certainly did not hurt in her application process. So, those are the kinds of things that can happen. I really want to encourage you to take advantage of what is a world-class training facility in the middle of the state that normally you wouldn't find unless you're on one of the coasts of the U.S. Next slide. Veridian Life. So this is our primary way to communicate with you about activities. There are some Facebook websites, or one Facebook website in particular that I like, that I go to for information. They take what we put on Veridian Life, and they'll broadcast it all on Facebook and remind us all. And so I enjoy that as well. But this is your go-to place for activities. When you see things on here, be sure and share it on Facebook. A lot of our people in Veridian don't always go to this. So if you see things on here, repost them so we can get the word out. We had a lot of questions, not as many as we probably typically get this time around. We've answered all of those in writing for you, and Deborah has them posted on the website, and she can give you more information about how to get that. Many of you know Howard and I, and we're Carrie and I are out on our bikes still. Feel free, when you have questions, to ask us. Just come up and ask. We don't mind answering questions when we're out and about. One of the questions I got was just some of the landfill activity. They're a little closer. They're in the last phases of that cell that has been the primary cell for 20 years probably. And then they're moving further away from us to across the creek to a new cell on the west side of the landfill operation. And then we had some inversion layers and things in the fall. and then they put in a new gas system. So we've had more, what I call events. The city and the landfill operator, those people are great. So, be sure and let them know. I haven't noticed much at all lately, but I know we had probably more activity this fall than we typically do. Usually in the falls when we have more issues, but it was compounded by where they are locationally and the installation of the new gas gathering system. So I haven't noticed anything lately, but keep us posted, and we'll let them know. They come out almost any time, day or night, when we call them. So they're super responsive. But for the most part, I think we'll continue to see a downward trend in the impacts that we do have from the landfill. It will never be zero, but I do think over time, particularly when they move further west, they do an open house in the spring and they do tours, and that's a great way to get more information about what goes on over there and how they mitigate impacts to us. So, be sure and take advantage of that sometime in your lifetime here at Meridian. It is kind of interesting to see all that they do over there. Other questions? Again, the pickleball folks, just know that we hear you. I hear you. I went out the other day with Carrie and we watched some pickleball activities on the tennis courts, and I got a better feel for what that's all about, not being a pickleball player. It's kind of a cross between ping pong and paddle tennis, I think. From when I was a kid, we played paddle tennis. So we're grateful that we've found another activity. There's another group that started Meridian. I forget the name of it. It's basically Sportsman's Club. Thank you. Someone in my house told me. Sportsman's Club, and they're becoming a little bit of a clearinghouse for all the different sports activities that people do in Meridian. So if you're the leader of a people group that does activities, whether it's Jenga or golf or bike riding or CrossFit, you might let them know, and maybe we'll have another resource to get the word out. Deborah, is that the last slide? That would be the last slide.
Yeah.
Okay, so in general, let me just give you guys just some general overview. We still have furniture that you'll start to see more furniture installed in the parks. There's more work to do, particularly in Storm Park, to wrap that up. That's been very popular, and we love to see people hanging out and sitting in all the different park systems. We are winding down on the residential. There'll be 2 new developments up front. By the River Legacy Park entrance, we call it Collins East and Collins West. So that the far west side of the lake along Collins will develop this year. Those houses will start the end of the year. And then the little parcel over by River Legacy Park is under development now, and I expect the same thing towards summertime to later in the fall. You'll start to see housing product go up there. So we've got a couple new product offerings there. The senior age, the Alzheimer's memory care that's going to go up by the Jackson, the multifamily project that's leasing now in the town center area. Those folks again have been just buried with COVID because they deal with seniors. We're going to get an update from them first week in February on timing for them. And again, their primary focus has just been put everything on pause, this new development. Let's figure out how we take care of our people. So they're coming out of it with all the vaccines. They'll be probably the first to have more of a herd immunity, since their people are getting vaccinated first. And we'll expect that we'll have a good update soon on that. In River Legacy, there's some drainage, improvements that'll be going in right now that are underway that will resolve any of the drainage issues we had that were impacting the access to that park entrance caused by the reclamation work that was done over there. So and just some traditional drainage that goes through there as well. So we're putting the pipe in the ground to resolve that issue as well. So that'll be done here in the next 30 days. But we continue to be super grateful. I love living here. It's such a dream to get to do what I get to do. It's what an opportunity, and I'm so grateful for it, and know what a privilege it is, and continue to just reinforce that for our folks. So we thank you for buying into and investing in, this place, and it's just a special place, and we believe with all our heart it's going to age well, and it's going to be one of those places where our kids and our grandkids are going to want to be. So it certainly worked out that way for me. I've got a house full of kids. If you guys want to adopt any adult children, let me know. I'm a group home now. I'm not a house. I'm a group home. So all my kids are home helping take care of Carrie, and I'm super grateful for that. They're going to start peeling out of here in the next year or two. So it's a good time to be in Veridian. Well, we love you guys. Again, we're grateful. Again, keep Donnie Otwell and his family in your prayers. If you want us to be praying for anyone in your family or anyone you know of that's been impacted by COVID, or for any other reason for that matter, let us know. Gathering Church is a local church here in Veridian. Dave Butler, many of you know. Dave's great. And when we have families in need here, let us know, and we'll make sure they've got food and love and whatever else they need. We'll come alongside. We'll go shop for the groceries if we need to. So if you know people in the neighborhood that are hurting for whatever reason, please reach out to Dave or let Deborah and I know, and we'll get word to the pastoral team over at Gathering Church. If you didn't know about Gathering Church, feel free to check them out on the website. Anyway, you guys take care and be safe. If you have more questions, send them in, and we'll get them responded to in writing and add them to the list that's already out there on the website. And we'll look forward to being together in reality instead of virtually here very soon. Y'all take care. Have a good day.